Is your life stressful? Is your life chaotic? Would you like to change something? In this episode, I would like to focus on creating inner peace, in creating habits that help you feel less stressed and less chaotic. My name is Tatiana, and I'm a life coach for women, helping women thrive. We live in a very crazy political time. And political time creates a lot of stress, a lot of anger, fear, anxiety, and divide. And none of these are synonymous with peace and calm. So it's your job, it's on you to create your own peace in your life. And I want to help you understand what are the things, what are the triggers that create a lot of stress, and what are some habits that you can do and you can implement to improve your life? When I talk about inner peace, peaceful living, it doesn't mean that you don't experience emotions, that you're calm all the time. It's more about balancing your life in a manner that's more calm and more peaceful rather than stressful, as well as learning how to cope with stress in order to reduce it and again create a more peaceful environment. One of the biggest stressors that actually almost like self-inflicted is our reaction. We have multiple interactions with other people throughout the day. And because of digital channels, these interactions, even if they're not live, they create a lot more chaos in our life than we think. If you think about news, social media, emails, interacting with your family members, with your kids, with your parents, with your coworkers, any of these interactions requires us to respond. And of course, any of these interactions create emotions in us. And many of these interactions create negativity. Especially think about the news today. There's no good news. And when you are negatively charged, you are adding more stress into your system. And when you are full of stress, you can't be calm. And how do you deal with your reaction? Inner peace is really about understanding your emotions, understanding what you feel and why you feel it. If you've never done it, if you've never really paused and asked yourself, why do I feel the way I feel? This may be a very new concept for you, and it might be difficult to comprehend and difficult to implement in the beginning. But once you get a grasp of it, your well-being actually will improve because you will reduce the everyday stress and anxiety. So let's talk about the example when you read the news or when you scroll on social media and headlines, it's just the headlines that make you automatically react. What you see, you don't like, and it makes you angry automatically. And then your entire system goes overdrive and you're angry, you can be screaming, and of course it's not peaceful. So in the moments like those, the most important thing for you to do is to pause before you react, right? There's a good saying that I read years ago and I really loved. Between a stimuli and response, there is time, right? You have time to respond. And another thing, as you pause to respond, instead of responding, our goal, or instead of reacting, our goal should be seeking to understand. And I truly think that if more people really took on that approach, we would have a lot less negativity in the online digital world. Because all of the headlines that are being written, they're clickbait. They want you to click on them because these headlines are so sensational. They're making you angry, so you have to click and find out. But instead of doing that, why not seek to understand what is happening, maybe seek to find another opinion, or really get the facts for yourself, because the majority of people just see the headlines, they don't click on them, but they react to them. Again, I'm using just one example because it's one of the biggest stressors is the reaction. So if you can teach yourself to pause, to reflect, and to seek to understand what is going on rather than responding, you will create already inner peace. And this applies not just to the news and headlines. This applies to social media, your daily interactions at work, your daily interactions with kids or with people if you have kids that you drop off at school, your community at school, people that if you commute on public transport, the environment that you are in, all of these interactions cause a reaction in us. And our goal is to teach ourselves to remain calm in any situation. Because when we project calm, even if somebody who is having a conversation with you is screaming, but your inner calm will create a wave of calmness and impact them as well. Inner peace starts with you because we control our emotions, we control how we react. And if we train ourselves to react calmly or not to react to headlines, to social media, and your job is to create boundaries and to create limits and to understand what's important for you. I'm not saying don't use social media because there's plenty of useful and helpful information, educational information on social media. What you need to do is to ensure that you use social media strategically. So now that you understand that interactions, either digital or with people in person, represent one of the biggest buckets of stress, and you now understand that you need to control the way you react to that stress. So that's number one. Number two, take a look at what are the daily habits that create stressors in your life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. I know a lot of people who use a lot of time online, spend majority of their time, free time online. They might not realize it, or you might not realize it, but that's the source of stress. And so once you identify that source of stress, build the habit to counteract it. For example, don't read news when you wake up or before you go to bed. Why? When you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is open the news, and it's not positive news because, again, news are rarely positive, you are charging yourself with negativity. You are taking it on. And what happens when you're negatively charged? That negativity is reflected through your actions to the rest of your family members, to the work environment where you go in, and even small interactions as the people you meet on the street, right? So that negativity is sneaking on you, and your goal is to create limits. The same applies when you go to bed. Your goal is you're trying to relax your body to prepare it for sleep. And if you're reading something that makes you angry, you are raising your stress hormone, cortisol, and you're not going to fall asleep. You won't be relaxed. And chances are that it will impact the quality of your night. And then the cycle repeats. You wake up, you haven't had enough good sleep, you go through the news cycle, and it repeats and you cannot get out of it. And then you wonder, why is my life so stressful? Another example is your friends, your network, your community. Do they impact your life in a negative or a positive way? And when I say they, I don't mean all of them. I mean, take a look at every interaction. I don't mean all of them as a group. I mean all of them individually. And find which friends make you feel good about yourself, make you feel charged in a positive way, make you feel excited and bring you positivity, and which friends bring drama, Which friends bring you down and make you feel like the sky is falling? Understand that not all friends are meant to go with us through life. Everybody serves its own purpose. And if some friendships last for a long time throughout life, that's wonderful. But you have to be mindful and realize when a friendship stops being a true friendship and when it becomes the source of your negativity or the source of stress. Once you identify that, your goal is to slowly stop spending time with that person because your inner peace is so important. That's your priority. Creating inner peace for you means you have to reevaluate the people that you let into your life. Once you identify your stressors, start implementing strategic steps of how to reduce these stressors. What you need to understand is it's not going to be done in a day or in a week. It's a process. Just like you are going to learn to be less reactive to everything you see, read, or hear, the same is that you're going to be implementing new habits that will reduce that stress. And would be really a good thing to do is, of course, to replace these negative habits with the ones that bring you endorphins. For example, sports, maybe sleeping more, eating healthier. And once you implement those changes, you will see that your life will start to change and you will remain calm no matter what is going on around you. I hope this episode was helpful for you and you can start improving your life one day at a time.